I think it should be pretty easy to, if you're buying at like $93 and selling at like 116. That's crazy. 116, yeah. Sorry about that.
Hello.
I've been pulling
Harry Brown. Harry Brown. Harry Brown. Harry Brown.
How you doing? How you doing?
Good to see Luciano.
Good to see you too, man.
All right. I could just get straight through it and not keep you too long if you want. I went through everything, right, so that I can start calling people in today and getting them together, discussing their finances, all of that. I don't know if you guys want me to do that at a defined time so you can sit in or just as I get people, but I'm going to be doing that today as much as I can. So the things we need to tell them and discuss. Number one, you guys wanted us to take 25K per week from everyone, right? Which date are we starting that on? We're starting that on.
We're gonna announce it on Friday though. Let's announce it on Friday.
Okay. So that'll be starting next Friday. They're gonna owe that. Okay.
Yeah, next Friday they'll owe it, and we're announcing it this Friday.
Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect. The breakdowns of that. If someone is paying in 5K in dues each week because they're part of the crew and they don't get kickback from that, are we proposing that the extra 20K is earnings and it doesn't matter how they earn it and they will get a kickback on that stuff? Is that correct?
No, they're not getting kickback on shit.
Okay.
25 grand kick up. 25 grand kick up, zero kickback on it.
Yeah, it's like it's a cash kick up as well, like clean cash.
Does it have to be? Well, yesterday
thing?
we said potentially it could be dirty. Does it have to be clean?
It could be dirty. It could be dirty, but then we should probably up the kick up for.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. Do we have defined numbers that we maybe want to do? If it's 25K clean, how much are we asking if it were dirty?
Probably like 30 grand, I think. Extra 5 on top.
Extra 5? Okay. And then is this same number being applied to Don's? 25 clean, 30 cash?
Yeah.
Yep. This goes for everybody.
Okay. So the Dons are paying the same amount in as all the other members.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be, no, it's only got to be clean money, right? It can't do this dirty thing. It doesn't work because then it isn't. I already give more than 30K a week in dirty anyway. Surely this is a clean kick up, no? It's separate to like the dirty cash cut and the kickbacks and everything.
So not everyone earns clean money. Not everyone does a civilian job. There might be someone who only does moonshine, for example. And the whole point is we want to use crew resources, the house, to help them clean that in exchange for getting that kick up.
Yeah. So remember, like this is a contribution that is no kickback. It doesn't matter if they got 30 grand from their kickback, then they can just be like, "Oh, just keep it," right? But they need to bring an extra 30 grand, essentially, whatever the fuck they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it now. I understand.
Right. So the kickbacks are going to be from additional stuff.
Just to recap for Luciano, remember this is a fucking test. Okay, we want to see who's gonna hear this and be like, okay, I'm gonna get my ass to work, and who's gonna hear this and start bitching and moaning. And the motherfuckers who start bitching and moaning are the ones who start evaluating on whether or not they fucking deserve to be in this crew.
I like it.
Right.
Good shit. Good shit.
Now, to be clear, if they bitch and moan or they don't, whatever, this is a test. We're still keeping this no matter what, right? There's no rescinding this.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Oh, that we gotta juice this fucker with that money. You know what I mean? We gotta juice it up.
This is going to allow us to see who is buying into the bigger picture, understanding that we as a crew need way more money, and then who's not. You know what I mean? It's going to be very easy to tell.
Got it. Okay. And then if someone's doing a really necessary job that does not actually earn, like they're doing cleaning for us, or let's say it's and he's helping with tech stuff or whatever, do we want to have a system where people can report to a Don on, you know, time put in or whatever they did, that was a very necessary time contribution, and maybe get that number eased down?
No.
Okay.
Nobody gets a slide. Every single person is expected at the very minimum to give 25 grand clean or 30 grand dirty by next Friday.
Okay. Got it. And then last thing, what if they have a combination? What if they have 50K clean, but then they also have some dirty cash?
I think it's just one or the other.
Just one or the other. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's all good. And then the final question. That is going to be really heavy. That's going to be really fucking heavy. How are we getting that to the house?
I mean, we can just do rounds, right? If people got dirty, we can just go grab it, bring it to the house, and then confirm it.
Okay.
I think for that, maybe for that week, we should just not have everyone bring all their fucking shit here. It seems like a pretty
Yeah.
bad idea. I'd
Yeah.
call people one by one to the house to bring the money.
Yeah, I think I can just be on call to do those pickups from people throughout the week, and they just have to do it before the Friday meeting.
I would.
Yeah.
I would make sure you're in the house and they come they bring it because I got robbed last
Mm-hmm.
night by some random people at a gas station while I was filling up. Like,
Oh shit.
they're just people rolling around, just casually, just taking money out your wallet. So
Yeah, there's been a lot of robberies
There's been
everywhere. Not
so
even
many.
waiting at jobs and things.
Damn.
Yeah.
yeah, obviously the motel robbings have been rampant. I got robbed at a gas
Mhm.
station, and there wasn't for no
the fuck
particular
robbed you?
reason. Fuck knows. These two guys robbing me, asking me what my favorite flavor of G Fuel is or some shit. I don't remember what the fuck. Like, it was so
What the
random.
fuck?
Just saying some shit to you and then robbing you.
Yeah, but there's no way we should be bringing that cash to like a meet up here. It's such a dumb idea. If it's 20,
Yeah, I
25
think that
k
needs
each
to go somewhere
person.
very, very, very safe. On robberies, someone tried to rob me last night while I was at the Moonshine Guy. Went to talk to Luna with crates. Was rummaging in my trunk and someone rolled up on me.
Yeah, I believe
No
it.
mask on, Australian accent, but wasn't Dundee. And he didn't actually have his weapon out, so he crashed into my car and came out of his car and said, like, this is gonna end very poorly for you, miss, or something like that. And so I just got in the car because he didn't fucking have a weapon in his hands as far as I could see, and he was saying, "Don't get in the car," and I just drove away. I mean,
Classic.
Good.
got out of
Fuck
there.
'em.
Yeah. So I, had a friend come by and just kind of watch for the 10 minutes later, and it was fine. But just be aware that shit's kind of happening as well over there. Seems like it's everywhere.
Damn. All right.
Yeah.
No cuts,
But-
like no motorcycle cuts or something. Something that they were wearing.
No, couldn't really tell.
Alright.
I mean, he didn't have a mask on. He was wearing like a leather vest and a baseball cap. Dark clothing, Australian accent, but wasn't Dundee. That's all I could tell you about him.
Interesting. I mean, even Tony got robbed a couple of days ago. I mean, he did it to himself though. But
Mhm. Yeah, I think it just means that we should be doing a lot more stuff in twos. Sticking together, maybe bringing some of the other guys around with us,
Yeah.
and just being careful. But
All
yeah,
right.
that's it.
Do one thing I want to do. Okay, so we got people that aren't like brought in, but there's still some people like contributing above just doing the weed shit. Are we the people that aren't brought in but like working the weed op? Do we want to also kind of like sit them down, like kind of? Here's where my head's at. The reason I'm bringing this up is because we have people like, for example, let's just use this Stevie guy as an example, right? Like, a lot of people now have just been going to doing the bare minimum for pushing weed. Like, oh, well, they only want to do like, what is it, like 100 bags? How much is it a week? Well, the guy is it 500 bags a week?
Yep.
So 500 bags a week, and then they're pushing that, and then they're being done with it. Do we then want to kind of, find out what else they're getting into, and then take a portion from it, or are we just leaving it alone? Because like obviously people are doing the bare minimum, which is what we said we don't want. We don't want people doing the bare minimum. People are gonna be going off and doing other shit, making money. Like, do we not give a fuck about that, or do we want to get like involved? I'm just curious what you guys think.
I don't think we care unless they're bought in, right? Like, what happened is people who don't do enough is they're just never bought in, and we're just making money off of them,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Like, this is also like kind of like Ilya's thing. Like, this is what we want him to figure out, right? Like, if he feels like he needs to get these guys pushing more, this is something he's got to do himself, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just think, I know, like, that's the thing. That's the thing. I think it's such always a massive misunderstanding. Is like, you set a minimum, and people think that they just want to do the minimum. Like, I'm fucking looking for people like that. I'm looking for people to do more than a fucking minimum. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Yeah,
That's what happens when you set a fucking minimum, though. People just do the minimum, and that's it. It's like,
but just leave them doing the minimum, and then focus on other people until they kind of just wither away.
yeah.
Yeah, I think leading by example is better than trying to work with them on it. Just say, look, this guy's doing this and he's doing great. There you go. If you want to do this, this is what you do. Done.
There are pushes that take more than the minimum though. They do push more than they're given or that they're told to. So that's good. We've also had some troubles down here in Cyprus, but I think they're all good now, according to Ilya.
Great.
Like trouble with cops or.
Nah, like trouble like selling, getting people to come buy it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Last I heard, like I think yesterday or something, it took them like 3 hours to sell 120 bags.
Who?
Between Flash and Ilya, it took them 3 hours to push that amount.
Yeah, but based on what? Are they getting shot a lot? Are they getting stabbed? Is it scuff?
Nah, seems like the customers just ain't or weren't coming in. Ilya told me just now though, before we came to the meeting, that it seemed like it was all good. So
I think the time of day, like you just can't sell because customers are, going home and sleeping and shit.
Yeah, they just gotta adapt to like how it's changing down there,
When we were selling down there, I could tell like it's point of selling right now. I'm gonna come back in an hour. I come back in an hour and I'm fucking selling like hotcakes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which makes sense. So
yeah.
Okay, well, that was everything I had on financials. Just want to make sure that was clear. And then, do you still want me to grab people today and talk to them and introduce this idea to them, or do we want to wait until Friday and just do it all together? And then after that, if people have problems, I start to, sit down and
We should
say, hey, if you have any
100% grab
questions.
people today and just evaluate what they've been doing. I think.
Okay, and just should I not tell them about the exact kick-up change and just say, yeah, we're gonna increase. We just want to make sure everyone's financially good.
I think we drop
Suppose
it
it like that?
Drop it as a surprise.
I don't think I don't think mention that
Friday.
at all. I wouldn't even mention that.
Okay, got it.
Pull people aside and be like, you've been doing all right. Just kind of evaluate what they're doing.
Okay.
But it's like Harry said, though, right? Like, we evaluate every person individually.
Right.
We need to make sure we do that.
I could do that. All right. I'll start calling people up if they're ready to meet immediately. I'll probably do that. If they want to meet up, in an hour, I'll probably do that. But I could just loop you guys in and let you know. So if you do want to sit there for it, you can be there.
Hell yeah, sounds good.
Harry, I wanted to check in with something with you regarding Moonshine and Sai.
Mm-hmm.
From what I understand, you're buying, you're selling your shine to him, right?
That's like that was like a one-time thing. I'm kind of working out how we're gonna do that. Because he's not like a moonshine running thing, but he's still kicking all that, like he's kicking his money up to you.
Yeah.
So delivering moonshine just got a whole lot more complicated than it was. So I might actually have people running my shit for me. I'm still trying to decide what I'm gonna do. But
I made a system for tracking that. If you do it, by the way, I actually left a note on the computer, because I think some people maybe weren't tracking it the right way. But if you are, that's another thing after that. But if you are cooking and someone else is pushing and giving that money to you, you have to track that money. So it'll say like Luciana's moonshine, right? That means you cooked it. And then the names under there, it'll say like this person pushed this. And that way I know how many dollars of your moonshine they pushed, so I can pay you as the cook fairly. So I wrote that out so you can track that, just to make that a little easier from my end. But I think a lot of us, are going to start doing that, because once your recipe's good and you can really start pushing a lot, we have to scale it out. and send it off to other people. Like we've just got to do that. But yeah, if you're gonna do that, just make sure you're tracking that because I don't want you to not get paid outright. But if you do
Yeah.
want to sell it to people directly and maybe bring that in as like clean cash, like that's also an option. I just don't know how we want to track any of that shit.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking, because it's a little confusing, right? Because you're taking his clean cash, and then I'm putting in, for example, 10K today, right? He brought in 10K. I think you had him pay you 6K, and then I marked up 10K on the computer. That means he gets a 55% kickback from that, right? According to the numbers.
Mhm.
So he's technically losing money off of that.
Yeah, I mean, he's done that straight up wrong. I mean, he told
Yeah.
me he was going to do one thing, and he's just failed to do it because that I told him if he does that, he's going to end up losing money off it. He was supposed to
Yeah.
take out what was it, the $6,000 that he paid me, and keep it for himself because I'm already going to be oh my god, yeah, Sai confuses the fuck out of me sometimes. He's trying to run an operation, but he's literally going to be losing money doing it.
Yeah.
The selling moonshine for clean money is a good idea though. Again,
But the
though,
people that
that's
aren't kicking back to us.
yeah.
But how do we track kickbacks if we're selling for clean? Like, does that come in as I'm confused. Does that come in as clean?
My thought is, okay, so let's say you cooked moonshine and you sold it to someone else, right? And that is something that they are going to then push. Don't track anything that person does. You sold it off. You're the end point.
Yeah,
You bring in clean and just write it down as
write that
moonshine
down.
crate sales, right?
Right, but that money that he gave you, that money's got to go into the system, right? So that the crew gets a little cut from it as well.
I mean, I guess so. If you're doing this just as your own thing and you're keeping that money and then you're going to use it as clean cash for, the kick up, then I don't think you even need to report that. You just give it with your 25K, right? At that point, like we don't do kickbacks on that.
Nah, because then people start doing their own operation on the side, then the crew's never going to get any money, right? Because then
Yeah.
Well,
right.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, it's that's no different though than me working grime, right? That's why we're doing it, these 25K for everyone across the board to squeeze more money out of people.
Okay, so here's the thought that
Okay.
sales.
Can I interrupt for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
So what I don't get is, okay, so I buy moonshine off of you for $5,000 clean. Where does that money go?
Yeah, that's what we're trying to figure out. Like if I cook moonshine and I go to someone outside of the crew, I have them buy it off of me for clean cash. I don't care about that person. I don't care about tracking their shit. I'm just bringing clean cash in.
No, but what I'm saying is, like, we don't got to figure out if this has already happened, right? Like, what the money that Sai's giving you was clean. Where's that money gone?
Went in my bank account. It was like $6,000. That's the first time I
Right.
sold to him was last night.
So the thing is that affects the numbers. Like if that's not reported to me, then I don't know about it. And I'm not concerned with tracking literally every dollar. If we're getting extra, I'm not concerned about that. It's just if we have less than I thought. But if you want kickback off of that because you did cook that, then we got to do something.
There's no way, like, if I sell him the crate, right, and then that goes money if that money goes into my bank account, I'm not then writing that down as part of my moonshine shit to get kickback on top. That would be that's complete. That'd be complete bullshit. I'm not that stupid. But yeah, sure. I mean, like, I can write down,
so
like,
it is like a side thing, like, right? Like
I
if we
can
sell it off
write
right
down
now at least.
I could write down, like, I bought in 6K clean off selling moonshine and put it in the house, and then we can work out, like, but it's like whether you want like a whole. That's like a whole other system.
We can keep it simple. What we've done with sales, like for example, with PC sales, right? If you made a GPU, gave it to someone and sold it, 50% of the profit goes to you and 50% goes to the crew. That's how we had done it with like Uno's PC sales, for example, when I was going back and checking some numbers. We could keep it like that. We could do 30% crew cut because 30% is the cut that the crew gets from literally everything else.
I think we should just keep it
any
simple.
clean could just like that.
Just
Yeah.
keep it simple, right? If I sell
Mhm.
weed, I'm gonna put it in the in the system. The grower gets a cut, I get a cut. If our runners are selling moonshine, the cook gets a cut, they get a cut. Crew gets a cut. There's no need to be like bouncing around different things. You know what I mean? Just stick to the system. Make things work.
Well, right. I think the only issue then is I make a crate, someone else is going to sell it for 1,000. They bought it off of me for 500 clean. Right now I would only get 15% of that back, which is, I put in the same amount of time to get 15% back of a much smaller number. I'm getting 7.5% of what I would normally get if I had one of our guys push it, if you get what I'm saying. So I agree with you with keeping it simple. I just think we should make it like, if you write down, hey, here's $400 in, I sold out a crate, you get half of that back. You put $400 in, you get 200 back. Something like that. Just a percentage for sales that's a bit higher so nobody gets dicked over.
Right. Yeah,
Does
we
that make
definitely got to
sense?
keep it fair for sure.
It's a whole, in my opinion, like it's a whole. It's difficult. I mean, you're, like, sure, it could be viewed like I sold a crate of moonshine and I got clean money for it and I put it in my bank account, and some could view that as snaking. But at the same time, you could have a guy that works grime or sanitation all week and then just pays up his minimum, and is that not
so
like
we're saying
you know what I mean? Like
don't
it's
put it
just
in
as
the bank
bad.
I'm fucking
account. Like,
confused
put
right
it
now. I'm
straight
fucking
in the
confused. I'm
pile.
gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna
Hold on,
lose it.
hold on, hold on.
I'm gonna blow my top. I'm gonna blow my top.
Grime sanitation is it's different than shining, right? Dirty and clean money at the end of the day. Illegal jobs, that's your
How?
money.
Listen. Let's just call it like we see it, okay? So, Harry, you've been pocketing clean cash from side sales, right?
Well,
How many times you sold
one
him? You said
time
once?
last night.
One time he bought for clean cash.
Yeah, I sold him 10 crates for $7,000, clean.
Okay, now that is fine if we agree that people can just sell whatever the fuck they want for their own cash, but then it circles back to what Luciano said, or I think Gigi said it. People are just going to start doing their own side hustles, and money's going to be brought into the crew anymore. So what is the expectation that we want here?
I agree. I think it goes two ways. I mean, if we're upping everyone's clean or dirty, whatever the fuck, every week, I don't think it's gonna be an issue.
No, it is going to be an issue because if we have people selling for clean and pocketing the clean cash, we're going to start chopping hands and fucking heads off.
But they're paying up $25K a week, which
Which
That
is
doesn't
the
matter.
minimum, and we want people
Kickups
doing more than the minimum.
never mixed with the kickback system.
but
It
you
never
said
mixed.
next
We're not
week.
going to mix it.
But you said next week if I did 30K brought in, then I could be like, I'll take it out of my work for the week. I ain't gotta pay. You that's what I mean.
But we already have that money. If you made $30,000 in dirty, that's fine. But if you start pocketing clean cash and it's not tracked and it's an operation that is built for the crew, that becomes a problem very quickly. I really need to explain this.
I get where you're coming from. I just considering the moonshine I do off my own back, I just don't see how it's any different than if I just ran grime and pocketed all the money. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that like what you're saying is wrong. I'm just
You think if we're checking one week,
then you have to ask yourself, like, what is the point of being a crew? Because I can just start selling weed to fucking third parties and just bringing in clean cash. Fucking operation. Right? I could start growing a fuck ton of weed and just selling it for clean cash to random people.
But that's why I thought your idea of like increasing it to like 25K clean and 30K dirty solves that problem. Because even if you're doing legal jobs and not contributing to the crew, like that's going to be a big chunk out of your bank account, no matter how you earn money.
This is a test to see who earns money, and if people are doing their own thing and being solo dolo and not working with the crew, they're gonna remove, regardless.
Yeah, I mean, when we brought
just
people
talking about
in,
bare
it's explained
minimums.
your crew first, right? And
Yeah.
that was my impression at least. So anything extra I'm doing above the minimum, I'm just giving to the crew. Like if I sold crates off, I'd I'd assume it's probably for the crew, but yeah. So I guess it's just defining that.
Yeah, it's defining that. Do we allow somebody to sell their own crates for clean cash and pocket in the cash, or is this crew only? Like, that's all we have to decide right now.
Yeah, it's up to you guys. I mean, not a single piece of work that is moonshine has, you know, really anything to do with the crew right now. That could change. I don't mind either way. I'm really not bothered. I'm just trying to, you know.
And I get what you're saying, Harry, because you were bringing up the point that what's the difference of you selling something that you spent time on for clean cash versus someone else just running grime, and that person does not get taxed on their grime.
That's the only
money,
point I'm trying to
right?
make. That's the only point I'm trying to make right there.
I get that.
No, guys, hold on. Running grime, G6, sanitation, that's money you pocket to yourself. That's clean money. That's legal money. Illegal money, that a portion of that goes to the crew. That's something we've always worked with here. I don't know why the lines are blurred. Why are the lines blurred all of a sudden?
Because we
I just wasn't sure if we were
because
just
you miss meetings,
crate sales is
Luciano.
clean. Yeah.
You miss some meetings. We've kind of had talks about like people. You've got people that aren't earning illegal money. There's people that straight up ain't doing shit.
Who?
Yeah.
I mean, Tony's a good example. He did a lot better yesterday, but his money was purely from grime before this, right? So he'd give his dues, and then
Tony makes no money.
no, I know. But what if
Let's just call it like we see it, guys.
The kick up on a weekly basis. I mean, that's.
So then,
I mean, it doesn't matter how you make that, whether it's legal or illegal.
But then now we project that onto Octo, who does the same thing as Tony, right? He washes a lot of cash, and then his money is made through grime, and he makes a lot because he runs grime a lot. But we never tax that.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, we do. We tax it by his literal kick-ups is a form of taxing that.
For the washing, yes, but not for any grime or any other money he's making.
Of course,
right?
his weekly kick-up is literally clean money that he's getting from grime and then paying to us, guys. And then his dirty business is the cleaning of cash for us, which then he gets a kickback from.
Correct.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, that is how he gets taxed, because he needs. So what you would do is you would, instead of allowing dirty money, you keep the system simple and you tell everybody 25 grand this week, clean cash. We need from everybody. Clean, no dirty. Throw the fucking dirty out the window. Keep it simple.
Well, that's what
that way
I'm saying.
You don't have to worry about mixing shit. Yeah.
Okay. I think what we need to do to account for the people who only do dirty work is they might be lagged like 1 week behind because they need to get their payout. So I think what that means is they track stuff in the PC. I tell them how much money they would get back. And then based off of that, I tell them how much they still owe in clean cash. So let's say you got 10K. All right. You owe us, you know, if you owe us 15K more, I don't get that 10K. You owe 15K more debt of clean cash, if that makes sense. And that should help people that don't do a ton with clean jobs that they get clean cash in for.
What we can do is pick people individually, right? Because Ilya is not going to be able to produce $25,000 cash clean, but the guy can come and produce 50 grand cash dirty in a week, 100%. So maybe we just individually task people. Be like, Ilya, we need 30 grand from you dirty by next week. You know, we need 25 grand from you clean by next week. And we just go what we know each person is doing, maybe. That could keep it simple as well.
It's probably going to be on an individual, yeah. So just to clarify, the reason I didn't think it would be an issue, still, I mean, you guys got to decide, like, is because every still I buy is out of my own pocket. I work purely for myself. My plan was, like, I was going to sell some crates clean, and, you know, I still run my own shit, which brings in dirty, which I track, same old. But it's up to you guys. If you want me to put the clean money I make in the house as well and record it separate, I can do that. But you guys we just gotta decide what we want to do with that.
For me, it's like I don't care. Like, I personally don't care that you do that, but it's also like the fine line of like working for the crew, right?
Right.
Like that's something we got to figure that we've talked about before is working together and for the crew, and then doing your own thing and contributing towards the crew. It's just a fine line of that. I personally don't give a shit if you're selling shit to Sai. Sai is a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I mean, what
for buying from you, and then, like, listen, my gripes with Sai is he is doing what Larry and Martin tried to do, and we shut it down immediately. and he's just trying to give too much while getting back nothing, and just being okay with that. But he has hopes that it will give him something in the future.
Mm.
And we should not operate like that with anybody. He even told me the other day. He called me. He's like, this was a couple of weeks ago. He's like, Lang, I sold a fuck ton of materials. What's your state ID? I want to give you the cash for it. And I told him, why the fuck are you gonna give me the cash for it? You sold the materials. He's like, oh yeah, because I'm not working with LSD. I'm doing my own thing, but I want to give you the cash. And I straight up told him, listen, if you're working on your own, that's your cash. Don't give me the fucking money. I'm not trying to put it in his head that, oh yeah, I'll take the cash. Oh, thank you, Sai. Oh, you give me so much free cash. You know what I mean? Like, we shouldn't play that angle with nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Th-
think it all
then-
boils down to what we said earlier. Like, we're increasing this to 25K clean or 30 dirty cash. Doesn't matter which. That's the new minimum. It's not a bad minimum. You still have to put a lot of time in, so we shouldn't feel bad if somebody just gives the 25. We're going to be up good, and whatever they do beyond that, if they want to report it and give extra, that's great. Of all their legal stuff like they've been doing, but if they're making extra sales on the side of clean cash, that's theirs. That's it, right? We keep it simple and see how that goes for a week. And if people feel like, they're saying, hey, I'm making a lot extra, because that's when I'm going to talk to them, right? And figure out their finances. After that, I'm going to talk to them today and after. And if they say, hey, even with this 25 that I'm giving you, I'm still up really good and I want to contribute, then at that point, we see how everyone's doing and we move this number up across the board if everyone's money is up.
I'm
Right?
telling you,
I think we just need to step it up slowly
I
as
think you
people are
solved
making
it.
more and more.
I really do. I think you take 25K clean off people a week, or 30K dirty, and then beyond the 30K dirty, they can get kickbacks beyond 30K. I think that right there
that's
solves
exactly what
the
I'm
problem
saying.
of people not
Yeah.
doing enough work, like straight up.
Yeah.
And at
That's
that
exactly
point,
it. So the
that's a
kickbacks
lot
are
of money.
incentivized. Yeah.
That's a lot
Guys,
of
I
money.
agree.
remember, this is for 1 week only. This is for
Right.
the next week only, and then from there we decide what we're going back to. But this is just a test
Mhm.
to squeeze everybody and see if motherfuckers are gonna turn into whiny bitches or fucking put their heads down and work.
Right. And we'll see if someone goes, okay, well, I want a kickback, so I'm going to make 50. Right?
Exactly.
Like that's
Exactly,
what this is
yeah.
for. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And from there we evaluate. Because it's like we said, right? Everyone's their own fucking book. I guarantee you, as soon as we say this, it's probably got like 600K in his fucking bank account. He's gonna put the 25K and move on, and that's what we want to see. If people are gonna buy in, no matter what we say, because they understand the bigger picture, or if they're gonna bitch and moan and come up with excuses and reasons to not do something, and then we understand who those people are and we evaluate them, and we either remove them or we keep them in the crew.
Right.
it's perfect as well because we can pull cards like that when we know that we need cash. And right now is one of those times. Like you're looking at juicing up a Buckcoin farm while also trying to move to Mirror Park. So
Yeah.
like basically, doing that for like a week or two, it solves all of our issues pretty much. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, it's
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was suggesting right in the beginning, right? 25K clean, a little more dirty. Anything beyond that, you can do kickback. Anything up until that point is just straight in, and we just see how it goes.
Is
All right.
Luciano, anything you are unsure about? Because you did miss me, Lang, Gigi, Tony. We did have. Basically, we just had meetings about we're just trying to trim the fat, probably the same as before you left, and we're just trying to work. We kind of went through every person on an individual basis, and there isn't actually as many people bought in as I initially thought. There's lots of people in the weed shit that were never bought in, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to bring that up. I mean, I'm pretty clear on everything else.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
We do this test, we see how people react, and we go from there.
Perfect. All right. I'm going to start calling people up and seeing if they're around so I can start just kind of evaluating, seeing what they're doing today. And then, we drop the news on Friday.
All right, hell yeah. Good shit.
Last thing then, I would tell Sai, because he kicks. I would stop Sai from if we made this rule that we aren't accepting money off people like that, then if it's not like weed money, then we shouldn't be taking like tax off Sai if he's going off doing his own shit, because he isn't bought in, and it doesn't make any sense.
No, he can contribute, but he can't be like, he can work to get a kickback, but he can't be like, oh, take all this money. I'm going to work at a loss. I don't care about a kickback, which is what he's doing right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, fair and equal system for everyone. If they want to hand something in, we calculate a kickback, and that's it.
Yeah.
I'll speak to him about it later because I don't know the fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Sai is, I don't know. He's kind of spiraled out of what I originally thought he would be. I'm gonna be honest.